Hi everyone, and happy Me Made May. Me Made May is all about celebrating being a maker and perhaps setting yourself a goal for the sorts of things you'd like to achieve during the month and moving forward. For me personally, my goal for this May is to share what I'm wearing every day on Instagram and also with a roundup video each week here. My hopes in this challenge is to try and wear as much variety as I can, getting use out of those items that maybe haven't seen a lot of love recently, and also really trying to reflect on what's working in my wardrobe and if there's any gaps that I really want to fill. I already have a fairly good idea of what's missing, but I think that this kind of process will help me really try and clarify that. So right now when I'm filming this, it's Sunday, and I'm going to send you back to Thursday now, where I'll kick off the week on the 1st of May, and I'll see you back here in a little while. Good morning everyone, and happy first day of May. I'm about to rush out the door. It is about 10 to 7. I've got a before school rehearsal today. It's only about 6 degrees, less than 6 degrees at the moment, but it is going to fine up into a beautiful sunny afternoon. It's this kind of weather that's a little bit tricky to dress for because I want to be warm and comfortable, but I know I will get hot as well. I know that my classes today, I'm teaching back to back all morning, and a lot of them will be quite physical. I get warm when I'm conducting, and I've also planned to do some folk dancing in some of my classes this morning. So I didn't want to wear anything that I'd get too hot in. So I've worn layers, and I'll show you some pictures. I'll take some pictures when I'm at school later on when I have a break. And I'll talk to you again later. Layers were the order of the day today, and I decided to wear one of my trusty York pinafores by Helen's Closet. This one is in quite a lightweight corduroy that I got from Spotlight in a navy blue. And I've layered this over the top of an Adrian blouse by Friday Pattern Company in a beautiful soft cotton jersey. Then I'm wearing tights and boots. And then my final layer is a Marlo sweater by True Bias, and this one is the long version, and I've made it in a beautiful green brushed sweater knit from My Design. This is definitely one of the hardest working items in my wardrobe. I wear it all year and I love it. I've picked up my children and I'm about to take them to soccer training. So I've got changed because I like to go for a walk while the soccer training is on. I've got a Helen's Closet jumper on now, a very, very well worn item in my wardrobe. I hung out some of my new fabric on the line today, and I actually noticed before I put it in the wash last night, it had a kind of a weird smell. So I was really, really hoping that when I washed it, it would smell okay. This is the denim I got from Spotlight. And honestly, when I was putting it on the line this morning, it still smelled really bad. So I'm about to go out and see if the fresh air has helped. It's Friday evening and I'm just leaving school for the week. It has been a beautiful day again today, and the forecast for the weekend is also incredible. Sunny and warm all weekend, which is very surprising for this time of year. It's often sunny, but just the temperatures are a lot warmer than usual. So I have got nothing planned really for tonight or tomorrow. My children are with their dad this weekend, so I'm hoping to get home, have a really simple dinner, and spend some time sewing or knitting or a bit of both. And then tomorrow, the same thing. I just want to do a lot of creating, and I'm really excited to do that. So I'll check in with you a little bit later and I'll show you what I end up doing tonight, as well as what I finished last night. I'm home now and I have got changed into a very, very standard evening outfit for myself. It is my Helen's Closet Jackson pullover that I've made in a French terry, and some black French terry chanterelle pants as well, which I absolutely love. So if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you will know I love the chanterelle pants pattern by So Liberated. I have made several pairs of them, including this French terry pair, and it really is my everyday kind of get home from work and pull on pair of pants almost the whole year. So I'm very, very comfortable, looking forward to a relaxing weekend. Today, as I mentioned, it was a beautiful day, but a really, really cold morning. So it was a little bit tricky to decide what to wear. I ended up going with the Tiama skirt by Caledonia Dreamin. I actually made 3 of this pattern last year, and I find it really great for cooler weather because it works really, really well with boots and tights. So I wore my rusty kind of colored Tiama skirt. It's in a fabric called Dandy Velvet, I think, by Italia Brunette, and I got it from My Design, and I've noticed they've recently restocked that fabric, or I'm not sure about the colorways, but I definitely saw it in their newsletter this week that they've got the Dandy Velvet back in. And I wore it with my patina blouse by Friday Pattern Company. Now this one, it's a little bit big. It's in a eco viscose, I think. I can never remember, but a very drapey fabric. And I think the drape of it helped to make it just a little bit too big. So it definitely sits off the shoulders and it's a little bit low, but I just love the fabric so much, and I especially love the way the sleeves drape. I love the long sleeve version and the way the sleeve kind of billows over the cuff. So it was nice to wear this today. I was comfortable. And it's just always nice when you feel like you're wearing a really pretty blouse. I have had a few deliveries this week I thought you might be interested to see. If you watched last week's video, which was my plans for autumn and winter, I talked about my plans to make the Nordic Bloom vest by Caitlin Hunter of Boyland Knitworks, and the wool arrived for that this week, and I'm pretty happy with the colors. This one I bought off Etsy. It needed to be an Aran weight wool, and I went with these 2 beautiful colors. I especially love this green. This color is called Duffel Bag. So this one is dyed by Janice from Glen Heaven Knits. And so that's going to be the main color of the vest. And then my flowers, the color work, will be done in this color. And that is called Peppercorn. So I'm really excited about that project. You might also remember from another video I talked about, for my birthday, my mum told me there would be a surprise in the mail for 4 months, each month for 4 months. And the first of those arrived this week. So that was very exciting. And it turns out I am now a member of the August Bird Yarn Club for 4 months. So I got this really lovely package in the mail with a beautiful card, a note from Rebecca, who is August Bird, and then this hand-dyed skein. Now I'm wondering whether there's a theme, perhaps a bird theme, I'm not sure, but it came with this tag of a cockatoo, and then it's called Morning Bushwalk. So it's a really interesting color, mainly sort of this pale browny yellow with some darker brown bits. There's a little bit of a greenier patch in there as well. And that is an 8-ply DK weight, and I believe she uses white gum wool. So it's really, really soft and beautiful. So that's going to sit in my little stash until I decide what to make up with that. And another parcel just arrived today. So this one I also talked about last week in my plans video, and that was wanting to buy some white cotton shirting. And I bought this from Cloth Edit because I had a voucher that I won in the So Frugal Challenge. So I put that towards this fabric. Haven't even opened it yet, so I'll do that now. It's come beautifully wrapped, which is a really nice surprise. So Gabrielle from Cloth Edit has written me a card, and then she's popped in some fabric samples as well, which is a really nice touch. The fabric that I bought from Cloth Edit is an Italia Brunette fabric, and it is called their Oxford shirting. And it's just a white, but I think there might be a little bit of interest in it. Let's have a look. So as you can see, it's just a pretty plain cotton fabric. It feels like a really nice weight, And I'm looking forward to making this into the Helen's Closet Cameron button-up. Just a plain white button-up shirt I think will be really, really handy addition to the wardrobe. So that is one of many items on the list that I'm looking forward to making at the moment. So my plans for tonight, Jeopardy is about to start. I do love to watch Jeopardy whenever I can. So that's about to start. And while I watch, I'm going to be winding in the ends of my Glow Hair Frost shawl that I finished earlier this week, maybe even a week ago. But I've finished the last stitches and I'm ready to wind in all the ends. So hopefully I can get that done over the next half an hour and then I'll see what I feel like doing after that. Taking me about an hour and a half, but I've now wound in all of the ends for that shawl and it's finished and now it's ready to be blocked. So I'm planning to do that this weekend, tomorrow hopefully, but I'll show you the finished shawl. So as I mentioned, this is the Glow Hair Frost shawl by Stephen West. It was his Hyber knit along pattern. Released at the end of last year, and I really loved knitting it. I love these kinds of shawls that have different sort of stitch patterns in different sections. So you get really into one pattern and it's enjoyable and you get into the rhythm of it and understanding how the stitch pattern works. And then just as you sort of think, I've had probably enough of that now, it changes. So I really love the effect of this one. And yeah, I'm looking forward to blocking that. This one, because of this chevron kind of border, I really want to very deliberately block this to make the most of these points in the pattern. So I will be sort of pinning these down. So we end up with kind of a zigzag edge, which is what it looks like in his pictures. So that's a job for tomorrow. It's going to be nice and warm. So I'll be able to get that laid out on my bed, which is in a really nice sunny spot. And hopefully that will be all dry by the end of tomorrow. Last night, once my kids went to bed, I actually finished my other knitting project, which was the Whitmore cardigan by Amy Loudon. And this is something that I started, I think, last October. So it's been a really long time, and at times I really wasn't motivated to do it at all. But I recently just did the sleeves, and last night I sewed the buttons on. So this one's ready for blocking too. So I'm hoping to get this one done tomorrow as well. But this one's got this beautiful lace pattern all around the shoulders and the bodice. And then once you knit the sleeves, or once you get down to that sleeves part, it's all just plain underneath that. I'll put in a picture of me trying it just last night before blocking, obviously. And then once it's blocked and all dried, I will take some proper pictures in it. And I'll look forward to getting some wear out of that once the weather properly cools down. So maybe by the middle of the month. So now that I've finished those two knitting projects, I am allowing myself to cast on a new one, and that is getting on with a beanie. I'm making it in my son's soccer team colours, and I'm using the free pattern by Knitwits and Yarns, I think it's called. It's called the Retro Style Beanie, and I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. It's knit with this one's knit with 2 strands of 8-ply on pretty big needles. I haven't used big needles for ages. I'm hoping it knits up really quickly because I'm just looking for a nice quick project after those that both took months. And then I'll look forward to getting into my next sort of more involved project with the vest. It's a beautiful day again here in Melbourne. It's one of those days where I just want to get a whole lot of washing done. As you can see behind me, I have got my Glow Hair Frost shawl laid out and blocking on my bed. And actually on the floor down there is my cardigan. So I've made a good start to the day. The washing machine is on with more washing. And I am wearing today an Ashton top by Helen's Closet. This is with the little sleeves. And this fabric is a design by Jennifer Buron, and it's in a cotton lawn from My Design. And I'm just wearing it with ready to wear jeans today. My plan now is to head down to the sewing machine and finish off my new patina blouse. So I've been making a patina blouse in an embroidered linen that I got from Etsy. It is at the point now where I need to put the buttonholes on. So not many steps to go. Buttonholes, hemming, sew on the buttons, and I'll be done. So I'm planning to get that finished before lunch today, and I'll let you know how it goes. So here's the patina I'm sewing up at the moment. As I said, it's nearly finished, and I've actually decided to only do buttonholes on the cuffs for this one because I'm a little bit nervous about all the places where the fabric's quite thick because of all of this extra stitching on there. And I'm just worried about the buttonholes, you know, not really working out very smoothly. So I'm just going to do the cuffs because I'll definitely need to have functioning buttonholes on the cuffs. But down the placket, this top, I find it's got a low enough V that I can just get it over my head without actually undoing any of the buttons. So I'm going to sew buttons on, but I'll just sew them all the way through the placket, so they won't need buttonholes. So just 2 buttonholes to go, hand sewing the buttons on and finishing the hem, and then this patina will be finished. I've actually already just basted down a little bit of the placket just so I could just check it would get over my head, and it did, so it'll all be fine. Well, my first buttonhole went in really smoothly, and then the second one for some reason just got all jammed up, and I'm gonna have to unpick that one. Very annoying. All right, so I've done the second one again. Now I did say the first one went in well, but they're actually completely different sizes. So I guess one of them still wasn't right. I'm guessing the first one, that looks tiny. I hate unpicking buttonholes, but I guess I'm gonna have to. May, and I am back from a walk. It's another beautiful sunny day this morning. I decided to get my exercise done early. I went for a walk along the beach, which was really, really lovely. As you can see, I've got my cardigan, my Whitmore cardigan, laying out for another day of drying. It was a little bit damp still last night. I think today in the sun, it'll be dry by the end of the day. I have this Tabitha tee on that I wore for my walk, but I'm about to have a shower and get changed, and then I'm going to head to my knitting group. I haven't really done a whole lot of sewing in the last week. I've definitely done a lot more knitting, and especially because I was so close to finishing projects, and then I've got that excitement of starting new ones. But hopefully I'll get back into the sewing this week. I am hoping before I leave for my knitting group to cut out the paper pattern pieces of my next project. So at least I will have made a start on that. So I'm ready to head off to my knitting group now. I've made a start on 2 projects in the last couple of days. The first one being my little team beanie for my son's soccer team. And this is knit holding 2 strands of 8-ply wool together and on 8mm needles. So it's knitting up really, really quickly. as you can see. I'm actually up to the crown now, and when I get to the crown, almost every row I think has a decrease, and I will not be able to use these needles anymore. I'm someone who prefers to work on DPNs. I don't like the magic loop method, and I don't have any DPNs in 8mm. So I'm now stuck until I can get those. I have actually ordered them from a shop local to my mum. She'll pick them up for me and bring them to me next time I see her. So that will be later this week. So this one's going to go on pause for a little while. The project that I will be working on this afternoon is my skyline wrap, or adapted to the skyline scarf. So I saw this idea on Instagram. It's a beautiful pattern by Helen Stewart from Curious Handmade, and it was released as an Advent yarn appropriate kind of pattern. So it uses 24 colors of fingering weight yarn, or you can use scrap yarn. So I'm using scrap yarn for mine. I've got a lot of fingering weight leftovers from shawls, and also from a sew faded sweater that I made a few years ago. And all the colors are kind of pinks and blushes and that kind of color family. So I am using that to make this shawl, but I'm making a scarf version. So I saw someone on Instagram saying that they'd turned it into a scarf by reducing the number of stitches they cast on, and that is exactly what I'm doing too. So I made a start on it last night, and I'll show you where I got up to. So I've done about 18 rows, I think, of the initial ribbing section, and yeah, very enjoyable so far. Nice to work on something so small after some very large projects recently. Speaking of which, I should show you my blocked shawl that I had drying yesterday. It is quite large and very beautiful, so I'll share it with you. So with the blocking process for this one, I really wanted to get that I really wanted to get the edge into quite a defined zigzag shape. And I think I've been successful on that, especially on the ends. Yeah, it is beautiful, feels lovely, and I'll look forward to wearing that when the weather cools down. It is going to be 24 degrees today, so really unusual. I'm off to knitting club, so I thought it would be nice to wear a knitted top. This is the Ghost Whisperer top by Park Williams from Park and Knit, and it is a little crop top with puffy sleeves, and it's knit in one strand of lace weight yarn. So the one I've used is a Rowan Kid Silk in a green color, and then obviously it's very sheer, so I've just got a ready to wear singlet underneath, and I've teamed this with the Chanterelle pants in linen by Sew Liberated. This outfit was actually one of the pairings that they used in the promotional shots for the Sew Liberated pants, the Chanterelle pants, and I love the way they go together. This top doesn't get that much wear during the week just because it's so delicate with the lace work, and wearing a lanyard could get caught, and it's also quite cropped. I do wear it over a dress sometimes, so the cropped thing isn't an issue. But with these pants, there is a little bit of glimpse of skin every now and then. So wouldn't be work appropriate, but really lovely to wear on the weekend. It is pretty much time for me to go. I didn't get that pattern cut out that I was planning to. I just always have way too many plans anytime I make them. Hopefully I'll get that cut out later today. It's unlikely that I'll end up getting this video up today. We'll see. My children will be back with me at 5 o'clock today, and I still have to fit in the supermarket shopping between knitting group and that as well. I'm really glad I prioritized getting out and doing my exercise this morning and just doing that first, because that would have been something that was easy to just drop off the list today. But it looks like there'll be other things that will drop off instead. Anyway, I'm off to have a lovely afternoon, and I'll probably check in with you one more time tonight. Hello again, I'm back from knitting club, and I had a lovely afternoon with my friends from knitting, and I got a little bit done on my scarf. I have to admit, I kept making mistakes. I didn't concentrate very well, and I wasn't paying attention to where I was supposed to be changing colors. So I've gone rogue already, but I'm just going to keep going because it's supposed to be a scrappy scarf anyway, so I'm just going to keep going with it. I thought you might like to see my Whitmore cardigan, which I blocked over yesterday and today. It's dry now, so I thought you might like to see the first try on of that to wrap up today's video. So I'll put that on now. So I've lowered the camera a little bit so you can see, and I will stand up a bit, but it's a pretty good fit and it's super, super warm and cozy. I won't be able to wear this week. The forecast is for the warm weather to continue. So I'll look forward to wearing it once the weather does cool down, but I'm really proud of myself. I started this one last October, so it's been a very long process, and yeah, it took a lot of patience, and I'm really pleased that I finally finished it. I'll stand up and take one last picture and I'll put it in here. But thank you very much for joining me for this first few days of May. Hopefully this next week I will get into a bit more sewing. That's definitely the plan. So I hope you'll join me again for that. Thanks again. Bye-bye.